Bradley.
Deputy Speaker, I refer members to my register of interests. I'd written about a 300-page speech to bang on about sports, so I have to cut it down significantly. Nobody has yet mentioned, I don't think, my favourite sport, which is hockey. So I'm going to take the opportunity to moan on about hockey a little bit. As 20 years as a player and a coach, and now the chairman of a hockey club, I've seen the changes that have taken place in the sport over nearly 2 decades. It used to be all right, and now my knees can't take it anymore. But I've seen the changes then, the work that England Hockey have done to try and make the sport more inclusive, including initiatives like Back to Hockey for older players, quick sticks, walking hockey, trying to make it more accessible as a sport in a really positive way. And we've seen in recent years a massive growth in participation in the sport. It's kind of not quite unique, but one of rare examples of sports played kind of equally by both men and women, and where both men and women actually get equal coverage, really. We've seen huge growth in under-16 players, but particularly in girls, in no doubt due in massive part to the massive success in the Rio Olympics in 2016, where the GB ladies won the gold medal. And since that time, participation has gone through the roof. In my mind, that event and that gold medal, along with England's netball success in the Commonwealth Games last year, are huge sporting highlights for GB UK, for England. And it was a great privilege to watch and to be able to see how that affected people out in the country, and how watching sport live, free to air on TV, has that impact on people across the piece, talking to people about hockey who would never normally have an interest. And I have the great privilege of having actually played alongside some of the ladies at a junior level at Belper Hockey Club, and played with Holly Webb, who scored the winning penalty in that final. And I know they're an incredibly inspirational bunch of people. But one big challenge I want to raise with the Minister in particular is playing surfaces. We've seen this massive expansion of 3G pitches, and people like the Football Foundation would very welcome their investment in Mansfield for a new 3G surface, but you can't play hockey on a 3G pitch, and a lot of local authorities don't seem to recognise that. My own club are looking at bids and planning permission for 3G pitches in a community where our hockey pitch is gone, it's dead, it's old, we need a new one, and there's no support for that. We're going to be forced out of the town by lack of facilities, and that means the sport can kind of end up being increasingly centralised. Big clubs that have the money dragging players and resources out of these small clubs that can't afford to maintain facilities. So I'd just like to flag that with the Minister. A couple of other things I wanted to raise with the second half of my short remarks. Football in particular. Mansfield is a massive football town, and I couldn't not mention the Stags, Mansfield Town. I've got my tickets for Notts County away next week. They have never lost. Mansfield never lost, and I've been there. So I'm very hopeful that I am a massively lucky charm for Mansfield Town. And John and Carolyn Radford, since they took over at Mansfield Town, have been an amazing influence both on the club and on the town. And we've seen the success they've had on the pitch, the positive atmosphere they've brought to the club. And also, if they manage to get promoted this year, second in League Two at the minute, the huge economic benefit that could have for Mansfield as a town in terms of increased attendance, increased footfall in our town centre, and the hotel plans that the Radfords have brought forward to try and maximise that could be an incredibly positive thing. So the best of luck to Mansfield Town in the games that are left. I want to raise a couple of things within football and the EFL. The arguments are well rehearsed, so I won't go into great detail, but safe standing has been mentioned. It seems strange to me that you can have existing standing and terraces within football stadiums, but you can't bring in new ones. In Scotland, they have allowed clubs to introduce safe standing, as Celtic have done so and trialled it, I think, successfully. And I'd love to be able to see that in EFL clubs across England as well. The opportunity to bring in more revenue for those clubs, which is so important, is something that we should definitely be looking into. I welcome the government's willingness to review that. The other thing is alcohol in games, and again, for those smaller clubs, the opportunity to bring in that additional revenue, and to the Chancellor as well, could be potentially a really positive thing. We see in rugby, even games at the same stadiums that are shared with football teams, the amount of money spent within the club is more than double that's spent in football. And some of that is based on that, being able to purchase alcohol in the stadium. I don't see how it's that much safer to tank up before a game and down a pint at half-time than it is to be able to drink sensibly throughout a game. I just wanted to mention power chair football as well. In my Mansfield constituency at Westnott College, we have power chair football, which is electric wheelchairs controlled only by a thumb in some cases. That is an incredible life-changing thing, and Ricky Stevenson, who is now the chair of the International Power Chair Football Federation, is from Warsop in my constituency. I'd urge the FA and the government to support that sport that is a real inspiration as much as possible. There's an awful lot more I would like to say, and I have a vast list here. But I am forced to stop, so I won't. Thank you very much.